Hello, children. Welcome to the e-learning session of Geography. Today we are going to study lesson number 8, How do seasons occur? Part 2. You must have noticed that there is no fixed duration of day and night on the earth. You must have noticed the longest day, the shortest day, and the days with the same duration of day and night time. Let us study the changes in the position of sunrise and the difference in duration of day and night time. Apparent movement of the sun. Apparent means an illusion of motion or change in size of a visual stimulus, also called apparent motion. The sun's motion is apparent, caused entirely by the movement of the earth. Our planet both spins on its axis and orbits the sun. These two motions combine together to create the sun's apparent motion. You must have observed that the position of sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. Its position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year. However, in reality, the sun does not move anywhere. That is why this movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the sun. The position of the rising sun keeps on moving towards the south. In the period from 21st June to 22nd December. This period is called Dakshinayan. From 22nd December to 21st June, the sun keeps on moving towards the north. This period is called Uttarayan. The revolution of the earth around the sun and the tilted axis of the earth are the two factors responsible for the apparent movement of the sun. Seasons occur only with reference to the northern and southern hemisphere. So in the picture we can see the equator, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. The path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical. Elliptical means oval. The sun is at one of the two centers of the ellipse. The sun does not change its position. As the earth moves in an ellipse, its distance from the sun does not remain the same. It is at its minimum distance in the first week of January. This is called the perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis is towards the sun. As against this, in the first week of July, the earth is at the farthest position from the sun. This is called the aphelion position. In this position, the northern end of the axis is towards the sun. So this diagram will make you clear the distance between the sun and the earth. We can see the distance in January is 147 million kilometers and the distance in July, that is aphelion, is 152 million kilometers. Equinox, the time or date twice each year at which the sun crosses the celestial equator when day and night are of approximately equal length. Yes, children, what is the meaning of equinox? Means the time twice in a year when day and night are of equal duration. As the earth revolves around the sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. This condition occurs on 21st March and 23rd September. On these days, both the poles are at the same distance from the sun. This situation is called as equinox. As we see the diagram, the illuminated and dark portion of all the parallels, including the equator, are shown. The circle of illumination divides all the parallels from the North Pole to the South Pole equally. Everywhere on the earth, night time and daytime are of equal duration. This condition is called equinox. The circle of illumination is the division between day and night over the earth. This circle of illumination bisects all the latitudes on the spring autumnal equinoxes. At this time, all the places have equal day length, that is 12 hours. On the equinox, the sun rays are perpendicular on the equator. In this condition, the circle of illumination coincides with the great circle defined by two opposite meridians. In the northern hemisphere, spring prevails from 21st March to 21st June, while autumn prevails from 23rd September to 22nd December. The southern hemisphere has the opposite seasons during these periods. In the northern hemisphere, 21st March is called spring or vernal equinox, whereas 23rd September is called autumnal equinox. The equinox or solstice dates can vary by a day or so. Solstice, the time or date twice each year at which the sun reaches its maximum or minimum declination, marked by the longest and shortest days. Solstice is when we experience the longest and shortest days on the earth. When any one of the poles inclines the most towards the sun, 23 degree 30 parallel of that hemisphere receives perpendicular sun rays. The sun rays are perpendicular at the equator on 22nd March and 23rd September, which are the days of equinox. After 22nd March, other parallels between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular rays sequentially. Only on 21st June and 22nd December, the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. These 2 days are called solstice days. Sun rays are never perpendicular on any of the parallels between Tropic of Cancer and the North Pole or between Tropic of Capricorn and the South Pole. Means we can never see perpendicular rays between Tropic of Cancer and North Pole, Tropic of Capricorn and South Pole. 21st June is the longest day and it marks the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. Means what we have to know, 21st June is the longest day and the shortest night in northern hemisphere. Similarly, 22nd December marks the longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere. Means first we have seen the longest day in the northern hemisphere and now we are seeing the longest day in the southern hemisphere. It is 22nd December. We do not have same duration of day and night all over the earth. In the region from Arctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer. At the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September, that is for 6 months. Similar situation prevails in the region between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the period from 23rd September to 24th March. But on the equator, the duration of day and night is same throughout the year. Means at the equator place, The day and night are of equal duration, 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So what is the duration of sun at Arctic Circle? It is 24 hours. At North Pole it is 6 months. At South Pole it is 6 months. But at equator it is having equal timing of 12 hours day and night. Seasons have been decided on the basis of the duration of sunlight, equinoxes and solstices. The equatorial region does not experience any change of season. Hence, the climate in that region does not change at all in the year. In places beyond the equatorial region, in either hemispheres, summers or winters are experienced one after the other within a year. Means in 1 year there is no change in climate at equatorial region, but in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere we can experience winter and summer season one by one. The occurrence of seasons one after the other in a year leads to the cycle of seasons. Generally, there are two seasons, summer and winter, on the earth. However, in some places, seasons are taken to be four in all. The changes in the atmosphere, vapor in the air, the wind, and the precipitation also influence the season. Continuous occurrence of rain in a specified period gives rise to an additional season besides summer and winter. Means when there is rain, it will be adding to a different season. Due to the local conditions, season other than summer and winter are seen to occur in different parts. For example, rains occur in India in a specific period. Therefore, we consider four seasons such as summer, the rainy season, the period of retreating monsoon, and winter. There are four seasons in North America and Europe too. They are summer, autumn, winter, and spring. The cycle of season and the living world. How does this season cycle affect the living world on the earth? If the earth's axis were not tilted, the same climatic condition would have prevailed throughout the year. The seasons would not have occurred. One and the same type of climatic condition would have prevailed on each of the different parallels, means at everywhere on the earth. If earth is not little bit tilted cross, then we will experience same season throughout the year. It is the tilt of the axis that leads to occurrence of season change and diversity on the earth. Because seasons are changing, it gives a huge diversity on the atmosphere. The living world on the earth is affected by the cycle of season. For example, in the region between 66 degree 30 and 90 degree in both the hemispheres, even the mild sunlight available for a part of the year gives rise to certain flora and fauna. Means in some of the places, if for some time they get sunlight, there is huge difference in plants and animals' life. In the Antarctic region, at the southernmost part of the earth, birds like penguin, fish like seal, and animals like walruses are found. In the polar region of the northern hemisphere, animals like reindeer, polar bears, Arctic foxes are found. People living in this region too have adapted to the natural conditions prevailing in that region. means people get habitual to the place and the climate of their living. Our adaptation to climatic conditions is possible only up to a certain limit. That is why organisms prefer a certain habitat. People cannot survive in extreme climatic condition, that is too hot or too cold climate. During extreme cold climatic conditions, when the food supply becomes scarce, a number of birds and animals migrate temporarily. Trees bear fruits in a particular season. Therefore, agricultural season also depend on the local climatic conditions. The way of living, the way of eating and surviving, everything of the living organism depend on the climates.